We are live.
Woo. All right, he just read. He said,
I'm
"Stand
here.
by."
Andy smoking. Still waiting on David to jump on.
Can you hear
We
me?
still have no viewers yet, so man,
It's crazy.
we're hoping it works this time.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Pretty sure StreamYard's got an issue going on because everybody got messed up.
Yeah,
All right, we're
my
back.
computer.
Yeah, well, me and Andy are back, so we'll see.
Yeah, I restarted my computer and everything. Like everything shut down on my end. I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
So KB's back on. Ryan Campbell, Nick Gill.
I said Dave said stand by in the text, so he's trying to get on.
Yeah, he got a. What's up, Mark?
What up, Mark?
You've missed the first 30 minutes of the show because
the shit show.
The shit show, yeah. And so far, it's still the same. We've had a lot of issues on the.
Worst case scenario, we'll get Dave back on next week if he's able to, and we'll make it work one way or another.
Hefe, hi, I'm new here. Well, what's up, new here?
Oh, Hefe.
Oh, Mark, what did you miss? Oh, a lot.
Everything.
Yeah.
We've had pantomime action tonight. We've had lip reading.
I started going off on a little rant after Andy left, and then I was like, no, I can't do that. I know Andy's smoking because we're still waiting on David. Mandy said Andy's is invisible.
Yeah.
All right, can you hear
us now?
Yay!
Yes! Finally.
Or there's a will, there's a way.
This is my son. This is my son's phone now. So.
Okay.
Well, we don't think it was your phone. We think it was something with StreamYard itself because it kicked Andy off.
Yeah.
Oh, did
I had to restart my computer.
We're all good now.
I restarted
for the time being.
All kinds of nonsense. All right, let's make this work.
Yeah, let's talk really fast.
So,
hey gang, this is going to be the most fun 3.5 hours you ever had.
I love it.
Oh man,
I don't even see Andy.
I'm invisible now. It screwed it up.
Well, now my Siri's wanting to pick up
because he said "see Andy." It sounded like Siri.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, so everybody, welcome Dave Schalaut. Yeah, I misspelled your name on the last time. I just typed it out, and I was like, "Screw it."
I'm so sorry. I can't. I don't know what happened here.
It had nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. It was something with StreamYard.
Yeah, because it was working perfectly until we went live.
I thought it was my device. Yeah, it was perfect before we came on.
Then Andy froze up. It kicked him off completely. So I just had to shut the whole broadcast down, redo a broadcast. And now we're working. So we'll start here. So anyway, those of you who don't know David, here he is. And now we can hear him. He's not a mute. So.
Yeah, no, this is not a professional podcast. No.
Ever.
No.
We've never claimed to be.
I almost feel like I need to move closer to my router, but I don't think I'm going to.
No, your camera's working fine and everything. I think it's great. I think it was a StreamYard. Randy said old guys rule. I guess he's calling you old.
Randy's calling me old? Bastard. Can I say that word on this podcast? I know which one I can.
Yeah. We seen it earlier. Yeah. We lip read it.
All right, hang on. I got to do something here with my kid's phone. Let me move some things around there. There we go. Okay. Now we're talking.
Be careful.
All right. How are you guys?
So, we're wonderful now that we can hear you.
Great. What are you guys doing for Christmas presents for your best customers?
I'm doing for U-Haul. I've got metal cups for 4imprint with my logos on them. I'm giving them those. Trying to figure out something a little different to do for my body shops because one year I did mason jars with a little liquor bottle tied to the top and a Coke in the mason jar, and they like them. But one of my body shops don't drink, so I'm trying to do something a little different this year. What are you doing?
Sure. So I've done I generally do like food style gifts, okay?
I'm not
And the
surprised.
reason is, and Andy, you and I came out of the Dent Wizard camp. The reason is I've sat through some of these meetings with, when Dent Wizard was owned by Mannheim, and I've sat through some of these liability meetings and things with the corporate attorneys, and I'm like, I'm scared to death to give out like a bottle of bourbon to a guy,
Really?
just from the liability aspect.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to be the party pooper. So traditionally, I've gone and given gifts from Italy, Eatly, or Eatally. I can't anyway. And that was that's an Italian. There's locations in New York, I think in Houston and Vegas, and they've got 20 locations in Italy and stuff. But like it's all sourced high-end Italian food products, and they do beautiful gift baskets. And so I've done that traditionally, but this year I've changed up a little bit, and I'm doing several things, but I've got more customers and more people now to cater to, so I can't keep just giving away the farm at the end of the year. So I'm going
Right.
to do some popcorn gift boxes from Costco that they had online.
Yeah.
I've got some cheesy hot chocolate bombs that have got marshmallows in the middle of the chocolate egg that you drop into hot water or hot milk.
Hmm.
And I did buy some nice olive oil and balsamic vinegar gift sets
Oh,
from
nice.
Italy still.
So,
And then for my high end customer, quite honestly, I'm doing a couple of really nice steak packages. And then for the general manager, I'm going to do a steak package and a bottle of bourbon for him. I trust him on the bourbon front, even though I just said I don't want to give bottles of
yeah.
alcohol away.
That's with
Nice.
me with the
He
bottles of
he
alcohol. It's a local family
he.
body shop, so I don't think I got any concerns there.
Yeah, he's not the guy that's going to have the bottle open in his desk drawer, sipping it at 8 o'clock and then plowing into somebody at 9:30 at night, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, see.
so
Well, see.
that's where I'm at right now.
I don't
Nice.
have wholesale accounts. I'm all strictly retail because of my shop. So I give out a candy cane and some stickers.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
I'm
But
just
see,
kidding.
see, Brandon, you already understand that wholesale's dead, so you're out of the game. I haven't learned that yet.
Wholesale. Hey, it's all in who you are.
I
If
thought
you
about
have
it.
the if you have the hustle, it ain't dead.
I thought about this year maybe. I just thought about it earlier. Maybe smoking some Chex Mix and then eventually wrapping smoked Chex Mix and
Oh
just
yeah,
finding something to give that to. You know what I mean? Like and
Yeah.
add something with it to give out. So trying to come up with
that'd
some
be
ideas.
nice.
Yeah, got the
Yeah,
Traeger.
you
Might as
got
well
that.
put her to
You
use.
got that Traeger. You better put it to use. Exactly.
Absolutely. I did it for used it for Thanksgiving. Smoked a turkey breast and it was amazing.
Oh,
That's the way I'm
I
doing it
should have
from now
come.
on.
I should have come over to your house.
Anytime, brother. You welcome anytime you want to come hang out. We'll gladly take you on.
My wife was out of town, so I did cheeseburgers. I think I did. I send that photo in the group. I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Hey,
had we had cheeseburgers for Thanksgiving at my house with the boys because my wife was out of the country. So yeah.
Amanda said that she misses she's like, I miss Dave in the 20 group chat because he always put up the most amazing looking food. Like I mean, obviously that's not the only reason she misses you, but she was always like, his food always looks so good. I was like, yeah, I know, we can go eat with him one evening. Just stroll
Yeah.
over.
Come on down. The weather's fine.
Right. Let's get into we were talking on the phone before. I want to hear about this 1-star review because it's killing me.
Well, I heard Brandon had a 1-star review too.
oh yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah, from a mill for a cougar or something, right? I don't know how
Yeah.
that.
From a loser, I told. I hope his car burns and he burns with it.
Yeah. So true
But
story.
Yeah.
I did a. I had a referral from a customer of mine, still a customer of mine. I had a referral, and the customer called me, and he told me, exactly what had happened. And this review is up. It's on Yelp. It's under professional dent repair. If anybody wants to be so, if you're bored tonight. But it was one of the first reviews I got after I kind of started my own business out here, and it wasn't the first review, but it was certainly the first and only 1-star review I had. But what happened? The guy called, and I shouldn't even say guy. The customer called and explained the situation, had damage on his vehicle, and one of these parking lot gypsies got a hold of him before I did. and he's got this massive hole in the back of his door, right? They jam the crowbar in, right, and all that. And I said, sir, with that kind of damage now, you really need to have a body shop do the repair, do it properly. I'm not, liability wise, I'm not going to take on the job, right? And I explained this very thoroughly to the guy. Uh, the username on Yelp, I think, was Caesar. So I said, Caesar, I'm not in a position to take this job on. It's not for me. Someone else has been in there, already compromised structural integrity on the back edge of the door frame. I'm not going to put my name on it. And so he wrote this review of how professional I was on the phone, but he was mad at me because I didn't repair his damage.
Wow.
Right. But he explained in the review why I didn't do it, and that he'd already had somebody else, the parking lot gypsies come by and hammer a hole in and leave the wax on, and whatever they do in the Walmart lot, right? And that's my 1-star review.
That's crazy.
Well,
just because you didn't do the work.
And,
it's like,
and that's brought me more business.
Did you leave the gypsy a 1-star review?
Hey, it does bring you more business, doesn't it?
It brought me more business because it's a realistic overview of what goes on, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's was crazy. Mine. Mine was very realistic.
Yeah. The dude did not lie. Brandon said, I hope you burned in your car.
He literally went on and created a Google account just to leave me a review.
Right.
Well, you can't please them all.
No. Anyway. Especially but what's funny is me and customers talk about it all the time, and they're like, heck, I would have said the same thing. I'm like, well, when you take, with the 2 friends that did this and took, almost 25 grand from me pretty much that I had scheduled to work, and I did all the work to get the job with the insurance and everything else, and then schedule it, and then next thing I know, it's a no call, no show, or the insurance is saying, hey, well, they called us, and now they're wanting us to send them a check.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So, all's well that ends well, of course, right? But that's a real review, and the guy explained everything. There's no false information. It's not like a fake review per se, but it just gave me the 1 star, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And other customers are happy with that because they see it and they're like, well, this seems like real world, right?
Right.
And if the conversation comes up, it's a talking piece, and I can manage it. Because
it's not all rainbows and unicorns.
It's not, well, yeah, life isn't, is it? But like, it's not false information from the reviewer. It's accurate, and I can talk customers through. Yes, I took the phone call. It was a Saturday morning. He called me. I remember this specifically. Saturday morning, and I was out with my wife. We were in the driveway. I don't know, putting up Christmas lights, right? Hey, that time of year. And I said, I have a funny feeling about this customer. And then I got a phone call from my Lexus store, and I ran and did an emergency job for them, came back, and just out of the blue, I was like, I'm going to check my Yelp account, to check the Yelp reviews, right? Sure enough, there it was. And the guy was just, keyboard warriors as soon as we hung up. But it wasn't, again, I can't be mad at the guy. It wasn't false information.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does that make me now? 4.875 rather than 5? Okay, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. I got my first Yelp review this week on a door or a fender I did, that Jeep Grand Cherokee fender that I did Monday. She left one on Google and on Yelp for me. I was like, and we didn't even send her the link. Like, we was going to the next day, and she went ahead and did it, which last minute kind of changed some ways. Didn't realize she had a dent in the door she wanted fixed, so we went ahead and fixed it. I stayed a little late, got it fixed and stuff, and it went a long way with her. So the little things matter.
I got one. I got like 4 of them today come in back to back to back. And one of them was one that I was hoping the guy would leave a review.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like a month ago or more. And anyway, he finally did. And it was a long, lengthy, great review.
Awesome.
I'm like, whew, finally.
I think we're going to try to start getting them to catch the review before they leave the shop. Like, be like, hey, I'm going to get up your invoice. It's going to take a minute if you don't mind. We got the QR code right here. Scan that while you're here and just leave us a quick review. I don't care if it's 5 stars and no words, just something.
Yeah.
Maybe try to start doing that a little bit.
Is Alan Wilson going to leave a review for you, Brandon, on that truck bedside?
He may, I'm new to this game, so I don't know.
Brandon's too cheap.
I can learn a lot of stuff from him. But
He's
Dave
an
couldn't wait to
underachiever.
bring.
yeah,
He's an underachiever. I'm done.
He couldn't wait for that. He's been thinking about it
yeah,
all day. He's like, I want to bring that up on the show. I can tell right now.
yeah.
I went there. Sorry.
No,
Oh,
no, we're
you're
good.
good. You're good.
I'll keep it G-rated, but I'm gonna go there.
That's
I love
hilarious.
it. I love it.
That's why we love having you on, brother.
I hear he's up for Mentor of the Year too. So
Yeah, I got some inside information on some things.
yeah. So
Well, anyway, when your speakers were messing up stuff earlier, I was telling everybody that you gave me the kick in the butt to leave Dent Wizard and start my own thing, and I've always been very appreciative of that. I listened to you on PDR Tool Time, heard your story, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you had a lengthy conversation in one of my Dent Wizard account parking lots one day, and it kind of gave me the kick in the butt that I needed. So I always appreciate that, Dave.
Yeah, I love that conversation. I was thinking about that tonight on the drive home. And so, I got a little behind coming home from work because I watched the guy in front of me, and he was at that point he was the guy right in front of me, and we're going around this curve a little bit, right? And he starts veering over into oncoming traffic. I'm like, "Oh, that's no good." And so I hit the brakes and slow down, and then he corrects and he gets back into the lane. It was two lanes in each direction, no turn lane. So had he veered over, he'd have gone into oncoming. And I'm like,
Oh
okay,
wow.
all right. The guy's squared up now. He's probably doing some nonsense on his phone. Anyway, I'm telling you, not more than a mile ahead, we come up to a stoplight, and he goes right into the ass end of a Mercedes in front of him. And I watched this thing, and I don't. It was a small SUV, and I didn't pay attention. I don't even think the grill was left. And I watched his, like I had slowed down enough to just, you know, I've been driving a long time. We all have. We're
yeah.
all in the car business, right? We all have this extra sense of what's going on. And so I'd slow down. I'm a little bit behind. I'm using my body to I'm a little behind the guy, and I'm watching as we come up to the stoplight, and I see this small SUV just I see the impact and the dust and everything that goes with it, and I see this thing turn and do like a 180 in the air in front of me, and I'm like, holy cow, the guy just ran into the car, stopped at the stoplight. And anyway, so I don't know that he was on the phone. He seemed to be, I want to say he was an elderly gentleman, and I'm not picking on anybody, but as I drove past, then everybody was fine. There was no blood, no bones sticking out. So I didn't stop. And of course, I knew I had to get home to get our audio problem underway here. And and so anyway, so like ironically, I watched all this happen. I'm like, no, not tonight. I don't have time for this. I need to get home and make sure everything works, which we did earlier, backstage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Murphy jumped up and bit us right in the butt.
So how
Murphy's Law.
It's bad.
just real quick, like when did you get started? How long were you with the Wiz, and how long have you been on your own?
So back to this whole thing that started. So I was thinking about that on the drive home, Andy, when all this, unfolded. Like, oh yeah, Andy and I had a lengthy conversation, and it was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed it, right? And I've had that conversation with a few other guys. So I spent 23 years with Dent Wizard, from 1991 to 1991 to 2015. Give that, if that shakes out right, 23, 24 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And then now I've been on my own going on 9 years here, coming up in January.
Awesome.
I really like Dave's got a great setup out there in Arizona. He's got a network of guys. They kind of lean on each other and stuff. And I really think that's amazing too, how you guys kind of network with each other and, take care of each other out there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate and blessed to have that, and the guys help me, and vice versa, right? I had Nevin. Did you meet Nevin? No, you met Tim. Tim came to dinner with us, but
Yeah.
my buddy Nevin in our group, he was out of town over the weekend. He's Serbian, and so he went up and took a boys' weekend and drank beer and watched the rest of the World Cup, and called me on Monday morning, and he said, hey, or actually Sunday, and said, can you please get to one of my stores and do a couple cars? And I said, sure. So we just it's we're all married, got kids, got responsibilities, and life gets in the way, and so we all just help each other, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I
That's
think
how
we're
we
kind
started.
of Yeah, we're getting that. I'm getting that network here with John Yeager, of course, and Jeff McMahon. I'm kind of getting some tight knit guys that I trust. Like we went on vacation, Jeff manned the shop, didn't have any issue. I trust him to know he's going to do exactly what I need done. He comes through every once in a while. If I got to shoot out to U-Haul, he'll come take care of anything I got at the shop. And then Yeager, when he's in town, he's the same way. So it's nice to have that network to know you could lean on somebody, and your stuff's getting taken care of as if you'd have been taking care of it. So that's huge.
Must
Yeah.
be nice.
And I think, I really think we're all busier because of it, right? Like, and we're all servicing our customers better because of our kind of a brotherhood rather than, trying to just grab what's yours and keep it and keep everybody else out. Like, let people help you. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
No.
I remember
It really isn't. It really isn't, right?
you were speaking about Nevin. I remember you were talking to him on the phone because when we came out to Phoenix, we went and played golf, and you had something come up. You called him. He was quick. He's like, "Yeah, I'll get to it and stuff." And that was really cool. I was like, "Hell yeah, being
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
rely on somebody."
But then it gives us individually the opportunity to get to, the soccer game, right? Get to the kids' soccer game, go to the dentist, play golf when guys fly in from out of town, whatever it is, right? It gives you like it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer
Right.
in my book. But
No, absolutely. I agree
Well,
I'm old
100%.
school, come around, right?
well, I mean, I know the three of us agree, but like my area, I've tried reaching out, tried helping. They just don't want it, or they're just total idiots. Um,
Possibility.
but it's just
Number two,
anyway. Yeah, yeah,
they're total idiots. Whoops.
Yeah.
yep, they are.
Because as a group,
People don't
and
see the
even
big picture.
individually, but as a group, it will be a stronger group with more business, with more opportunities, with better
Right.
like communication and just better network. It's better. The rising tide, right? It's going to raise all ships.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah,
I was talking to Matt Moore before the show, and he actually said that exact same thing about the rising tide. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I've heard it twice tonight from two
yeah.
awesome people, so I love it.
But it's true,
It is.
yeah.
Josh said he's working with the guys in his area. It's
Josh.
great. Like
There
I,
you go,
I
Josh.
highly recommend
Perfect.
it. Yeah, love it. Too much greed out there. You're right, Sean. But there is this industry has came a long way without we got greater people like are willing to help each other out and willing to take care of each other. That's happening more and more in the industry, and I love to see it. So
Well, I don't think it's just greed. I think it's a lot of it is just misconception that they think somebody that tries to befriend them in their industry, they're not used to it, or they've always been told by a lot of the older ones, no, don't. That they think you're going to come in there and try to steal their job. It's not
right,
necessarily they want everything. It's just that may be their one account that they have, and they think you're going to befriend them. And I've been through that,
hmm
and I'm like, no, well, yeah, you can have your accounts. I don't really
I
care. I
don't
just
want
want
it.
us to network and build relationships because it's just so much better. So,
Well, and at the end of the
but
day, even like pricing wise, if you're all on the same page, that customer can't say, "Well, so and so said they do it for $50." No, they didn't. We're on the same
yeah,
pricing scale, like we're across the board the same price. So
Yeah.
I just had that
Or
conversation
let me
today.
text. Yeah, let me text or call so and so.
right,
Yeah,
exactly. We'll get them on a
yeah.
three-way.
You nailed it,
If
Josh.
they're
And Sean's right. There is some greed, and Josh just nailed it with Kevin Bird said with, make your network happen, right? Grow your network. And I understand, Sean. I agree with you on that. There is greed. It's still going to exist. It exists in all industries still, but
Hmm.
it's no longer about the greed because now it's about servicing our customers as a whole in my group, the guys that we're all amicable with, and now as a whole unit, all of us now are rising up, and it's not about the greed, but now the customer's taken care of, and it doesn't matter whether you did it for 50 or $100 or I did it for 50 or $100 or whatever. It all got done, and then we all had that bucket of money, and we all were able to rise up. And
yeah,
maybe in your
Absolutely.
area, Sean, yeah, there is that mentality of greed, and it's all mine, 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 mine. But when it goes hours, 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 that mine gets multiplied by whoever's in your group, whether it's two, three, four, five guys, and now it becomes 1x, 1x, 1x as mine, mine, mine. It turns into 3x, 4x, 5x. as ours.
Yeah.
And then everybody is taken care of and serviced, which is we're in the service industry, gang. I don't care what anybody says. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost. We're in the service industry. Certainly as a mobile route guy because wholesale's dead and you retail guys with your shops, But anyway, but like the customers are taken care of, right? We are a service
Yep.
industry and the customers are taken care of and our revenue's gone up, right? And the customer's happiness has
Yep.
gone up and our reviews have gone up and our notoriety and everything it just goes up. So
Yeah.
I get that mentality, Sean, but I'm really an advocate of hey, let's really get past that because there's safety in numbers and we do more and it's bigger, better, better things in numbers.
Right.
Yeah. I think what Nick Stark had pointed out. Let me
Oh shit.
pull it up.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So
I
a
didn't
lot
see
of them
that.
will fight the mobile tech price structure, and they will. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of the in my area. Like what I can speak about is the ones who are newer or the ones who are strictly wholesale, and then it gets to where wholesale's wasn't as prevalent. Then they're starving for money, so then they're trying to do it for the cheapest price possible instead of trying to stick to the pricing structure or Mobile Tech RX, it's this size, all these factors in it is this price. Well, that price is if you can fix it, and not, some guys can't fix it more than 70%, 80% of the dent. And so how I try to tell them is, hey, still go by that pricing, but do 80% of it. Do
Right.
70% of that price. At least you're staying with a pricing structure. As long as you're upfront with the customer, hey, you're not to that point yet. You will be there one day. Or if you can't fix it, recommend somebody in your area who can, because you're not going to necessarily lose that customer. That customer will come back at some point as long as you're, honest with them
Transparency is
and upfront.
huge.
Man, it is huge.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I've had
anyway.
several customers I've turned around and like, look, I'm in the business making money. I can help it out. But at the price I'm going to help it out with, you probably better off getting a new fender, blah, 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 whatever. Like I'm transparent here. I want to help you get the best repair for you for the best price. So, and they appreciate that.
I've got a 1995 Chevy truck out here that when the guy came by, and it's all original, nothing spectacular about it, but he doesn't want to do paint and body on the door. He doesn't want to replace the door. And it's pretty gnarly. So I gave him a price on it. I'm like, I'm just by measuring it out and everything else. This was a month ago. I said, I'm over $2,000 on this. I said, you can buy a used door. It's probably find one the same color, put it on here, or get somebody to fix it because it had a little bit of paint damage and stuff too. And well, he's like, well, how much just for like an hour's worth of work? I'm like, well, I tell you what, I give you 2 hours for $400 if I can move anything. And so today he dropped it off, and I worked on about an hour and a half. It's not going to move without completely gutting the door, taking it off. It's got a carrier plate on there. You got to take all that off to gain the access you need. And so I called him. He came by. He said, well, just give me an estimate on it. And so I, in here talking with him, I'm like, look, I'm over $2,000 on this. I said, I would love the money. I'd love to do the job. I said, but it's not in your best interest to do this. I said, it's better for you to search Marketplace, search all these places for a used door the same color. If it's got a couple of dents, all you need is the door shell. I said, I'll charge you to swap everything over and fix the few little dents that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his route he's looking at. But if he can't do it, he said, if I can't find one, would you still do it? I said, absolutely, I'll do it. I'm just saying it's in your best interest to find a used door or something.
Right.
Because, I don't want to feel like I'm scamming you because I'm not, because it's a lot of work, but it's an older vehicle that's not really worth doing that, spending that much money to repair a door on.
Right.
But, I stick to my pricing. And so anyway, we'll see how that one goes.
Nick said building relationships that way and daily basis you got to. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I didn't charge him for the hour and a half I did today on it. And
Bruce,
everybody
he's like, kind of agrees on here.
Yeah, he's wanting to bring by all kinds of crap. You just give me sugar cane syrup and bourbon and stuff like that. I'm like, you don't have to
Nope,
do
can't
that.
have bourbon. It's a liability issue, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, just but no, you're building relationships. You're being honest with the customers, and you keep
Unless you're at
gaining them
home.
back.
Unless you're
Yeah,
home.
yeah. So
Well, we'll
anyway,
get into
let's get
Dave's
to
world.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
let's
Get
get to
into Dave's world
know
outside of PDR.
exactly. We know you like to cook and all that,
Your
and
master chef.
family and stuff, and so let's get to know you outside of the PDR world here.
All right.
So you married? How many kids you got? We know. We know, buddy.
117 kids. Yeah, I'm going to work till I'm 135.
I'm Amish.
Yeah, I've been married. I've been married since 2001. Got married right after 9/11. Got married in the UK.
Wow.
And Beth is my wife. We've got two boys together. I've got a boy from a previous relationship, Michael, my oldest son. So three boys total. Everybody's birthday is in August. So you know what was happening after turkey time. Anyway,
I love it.
let's have Thanksgiving and take our clothes off. So it was
Let's thank each other.
literally everybody's birthday, including my wife's and my father's birthday was all August. So
Wow.
in August, my wallet is two letters, MT. After buying gifts for everybody. So yeah,
That's
what
awesome.
do you want to know about me? How far back do you want to go? Where do you want to go with that? But yeah, been married now 20. Oh boy, I can't do the math. 21 years, 22 years coming up, something like that. 21 years.
21, because I was married
Kids.
in 2000, so it's 22 this year.
There you go. Yeah. So kids are all healthy.
I was graduating high school in 2000, so make you guys age a little bit.
I'm the old man in the conversation here, I think. But, yeah, and we've got a great home life. I think a lot of people know my youngest boy has Down syndrome, so we're deeply ingrained in the special needs community. My middle son is in band at school now. My oldest son, a very accomplished drummer, walked on, tried out for high school band, and then also walked on and tried out for college band. Very accomplished drummer, and he is teaching music right now at the high school level.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
he's I don't want to say self-sufficient yet, but hopefully on his way. And all you care as a parent is that your kids are happy and healthy, right?
Absolutely. We were kind of talking
That's
about
all
that
you
before the
want, right?
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you want, right? And I had 11 days with the two boys that are home because wife was out of town helping her mother pack up and move. Grandma sold the inheritance out from under me, but that's all right. So so my wife helped her move and downsize into a smaller house and so on.
You got a ghost.
And apparently I've got a ghost here. I just got a lick on the elbow from one of the dogs, so I was like, "Hey, who opened the door and let the dog in?" So
That's hilarious. The dog let
there's
himself
real
in.
world
Like,
for you.
right.
So yeah, and listen, so like the boys love the dogs. It's dogs are a great family pet, of course, right? And so are cats, but like I'm a big dog
What
lover. So
what kind of
we got
dogs
two
you got?
dogs right now. Right now we've got a mutt. Hang on, I'm gonna put the phone back down here since I got to close the door. Right now I've got a mutt who is mostly a um, come on, phone, sit there properly. There we go. Mostly Rottweiler and probably Blue Heeler combo. So she's manic and got a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But she's a rescue from one of, I call her the Indian reservation rescue dog because I think she came from one of the northern Indian reservations here in northern Arizona. But we got her from a rescue. There's a dog rescue place that's like, I got to think about this, maybe 2 miles from my house. It's dangerous, right? Because we could take home all the dogs and all the puppies,
Yeah.
right? And so we got her. Her name's Juno, Juno, named by Ethan, my middle son, my 12-year-old with the long hair. And then I've got a German short-haired pointer that's a pedigree, a purebred dog. Prior to that, we've had a couple of Labradors, a black and a yellow lab. Had a Bernese Mountain Dog. We had a Great Dane for a short period of time. I can make you guys cry with that story. Um,
Things are
the great
horses.
the Great Dane, the horse. We named him Magnus, and one of the guys at one of my body shops, his sister had bred her Great Danes, and all of a sudden they had this massive litter, like 10 or 13 puppies. I can't remember the number, which is a
Goodness.
huge litter for that size dog, right?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
giant breed. And they were desperate. They're like, how are we going to get rid of all these dogs? I'm like, yeah, we'll have one gladly.
One.
And and so we had Magnus, and he was a great dog. And unfortunately, what we really think happened, we think he had a heart attack. And literally at 10 months old, my wife walked outside in the mornings. You know, it's beautiful here in the mornings, in the spring and the fall. Beautiful. It's not too hot yet. And the dog would go out with our short-haired pointer, and they'd have their little morning run around and play a little bit. And then the Great Dane would get on the patio furniture outside and just kind of lay down, take a little nap. And one morning, the Great Dane laid down and didn't get up. And so my wife,
Hmm.
went out to check on him and called me in hysterics. And so we think he had a heart attack. So
Dang, I hate to hear that.
it was, like literally at 10 months, right?
Oh
It
wow.
just life throws you curveballs. I'm not
Yeah.
sulking or sad. It was a while ago.
Mm.
And we've got a beautiful parcel of land, so all the animals are with us still, so to speak, because I've got a little tractor, and we bury the. Excuse me. How about that? That
Real
phone,
life.
that phone, 6:05, and that phone keeps going as a dent guy. So, so anyway, all the dogs are with us on the property, apart from our yellow lab, who's back in Indiana, where we moved from. But it's nice to have that ability. In my opinion, closure-wise, you bury the animals on your property, right? Kind of old school farm
Yeah.
guy that way. But I grew up in a small town, and that's what you did as well. You dug it. My dad didn't have a tractor. You dug with a shovel
I've
back
got I've
then.
got six
I,
I got six German shepherds buried in the empty lot right here.
yeah, I'm
Earmuffs
fortunate, and
ace.
I like hydraulic power better than manual power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So use a tractor. But yeah, so there's my pet story for you. So we're
Gotcha.
currently
Great
So
Dane.
so we
Juno and Lola is the name of the German short-haired pointer, FYI. So
Okay.
gotcha.
He's talking about
So
Great
when
Danes. Our neighbor rescues Great Danes, and he's got like 4 or 5 of them in the house. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Like, it's got to be like a horse track in there at all times. Like,
yeah,
Jesus
the head
Christ.
comes up, and you're at the dinner table, and it's like, oh, hello,
Yeah, one of them's like blind or deaf or something. And like every time she comes around me, like she'll scoot up under my legs and like pick me up. I'm like, holy shit! Like, chill out.
yeah, I learned a lot about them when Fred Delaney was down here
Oh
last year
yeah.
helping me with that hailstorm, and I was like, just when his wife would come down to visit, they've got three of them. Well, they had a puppy with the same age as Ace, and so they kind of grew up together. And then, but the big one would just come. He'd be sitting working on a hood stand, and his big one would just come over and just sit on his lap. But he never, like the hind end, never went down. He just would scoot the back end right on Fred's leg and just sit there the whole time in the front end, holding himself up. I mean, as big as a damn hood stand sitting out there.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But
They're big boys.
they were fun.
Yeah.
So we know you like food, and you like cooking and making awesome meals and
God
going
bless.
awesome restaurants. You want to talk any about that? Like what's your favorite thing to cook?
So I figured you'd ask that question. And so, one of my favorite things to cook, quite honestly, is a steak. There's a simple
Absolutely.
pleasure, right? Like I really
Yeah.
like. The older I get, the more simple I like my food. Sometimes, like there's simple pleasure in like a ham and cheese sandwich. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be you got to be have quality ingredients. Don't get me wrong, but
I was
like
about
there's
to say your
something
ham
simple.
sandwiches are different than our ham sandwiches. I guarantee it. Like it ain't just deli meat from
No,
the local grocery.
no, but you source a good quality deli meat and a good cheese and a good bread, right? And done. Maybe a
Yeah.
little mustard, a little mayonnaise, whatever. If you feel froggy, put a little butter on it, like the French do. That's heaven. But simple, right? Ham and cheese, maybe rye bread, whole wheat, whatever you like,
Yeah.
and you're done, right? So like I love what salt does. So I'm a little sciencey when it comes to food, and I love what salt does to a piece of red meat, right? And if you salt the steak a day before and leave it uncovered in the fridge, it'll draw out some moisture and then reabsorb that salt, and just it's even more flavorful. So like something
Hmm.
simple like a steak can be simple, right? You don't need
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be smothered and covered with peppers and onions and sauce and all the rest of it. Just a good grilled steak and don't overcook the damn thing. But so
Right.
Yeah.
I anticipated Brandon you asking that question. So here's the boy, this is the long-winded version, isn't it? I told you it's going to be like 5 hours
He's like,
of your
ooh,
Wednesday
food.
night.
Yeah.
Considering we had the delay with the audio piece, but like this
Yeah.
is going to be the best 10 hours you've spent tonight with me. So I'll keep talking as long as you want. So here's the true story. My mother passed away when I was like 15 or 16 years old, and so
Hmm.
I was baptism by fire. I could boil water, but that was about it. I didn't really know how to cook, but I knew I had to eat, right? So it was my dad and
Yeah.
me growing up after my mother had passed away. And so I just kind of delved into PBS and watched that guy that got, accused of whatever he did with the children, Jeff Smith, right? The Galloping Gourmet or whatever he was called. And he was like one of the first cooks, Julia Child. And that's where, like I grew up in a very conservative home. We went out to eat, like going out to eat was a special occasion back then, right?
Yeah.
You'd go on birthdays or anniversaries or, Mother's Day, stuff like that. And we didn't have big fancy restaurants like you do now in every corner, and we'd go out and there were a couple of nice places in my small hometown, and it was reserved for a special occasion, and I really look forward to those days, right? But I was advised by my parents to behave myself and just follow their lead and enjoy and try new things and experience new things, right? So
Yeah.
that kind of combined with the fact my mother passed away when I was young, just kind of led me to the fact I need to eat, and you can't afford to eat out every day, and so I just kind of put my mind to it. I need to be able to cook for myself and my dad, and so that's what I did. And then I just learned, and I'm kind of self-taught. And then you parlay that and grow and go. And then obviously I landed the job with Dent Wizard at a very young age, and grew my business and abilities as a PDR tech. And I did what I love. I get up every day. I love to bend metal, but the money
Mm.
now is followed, right? And there's some truth in that. Do what you love, and the money will follow. And so, obviously,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the three of us here and everybody listening, hopefully, everybody's earning a good living in this trade in our industry. And now I'm in a position where I can get a little bit deeper and do more research and learn and buy better ingredients and incorporate that into my lifestyle. So, the boys and I were home last week. My wife was gone, and we generally have. Am I originally from Arizona? No, Jeff, I'm not. I'm originally born and raised in the St. Louis area. I'm a Collinsville, Illinois boy. Sorry, that was the first thing that popped up there on the feed. I hope
Yeah, I popped
you
up
guys
for
don't
you.
mind.
No,
Yeah,
you're good.
Collinsville, Illinois, 12 miles due east of St. Louis in the Arch. The great claim to fame about Collinsville is it is the per capita horseradish capital of the world. So based on number of residents versus
Mm.
horseradish produced, and then it also has the world's largest ketchup bottle. Those are the two claims to fame of my hometown. The ketchup bottle actually is a water tower for a tomato processing plant in my hometown, and they did it in the shape of the old glass ketchup bottle that
Yeah.
was
Oh
like
yeah.
a
Yeah.
looked like
Beat
an
the shit
Italian
out of
grandmother, right? Just ballooned out, right? So anyway,
it.
that was my love, right? That's my love of food. But now I'm in a
Mm.
position where I can afford to get higher quality products and do that. And so like the boys and I ate like kings. I made fresh pasta and we had pot roasts and so on. Funny story. Friday night last week, I'd had a long week. It was the one of the last days before my wife came home, and I just kind of thrown in the towel going, it's Friday night. I'm exhausted. I'm done. I've had the kids by myself for 10 days or whatever at that point that worked and juggled all the schedules. And it's what you do, right? I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to make fish sticks, mac and cheese, and frozen peas. Just like, childhood memories, right? Like fish sticks and mac and
Yeah.
cheese on Fridays during Lent, right? We're a Catholic family, but you know, and I grabbed a bag of what I thought was fish sticks. There's the pun. There's the lead up. Stick them in the oven. get the box of mac and cheese out of the cupboard, put it in the boiling water, mix up the sauce, all the crap. Because I was not making homemade mac that night. I was just done. Right. It was the
Done.
end of the week, and
Yeah.
I was wiped out. The fish sticks kind of started exploding and oozing out, so they ended up being cheese sticks. So
Oh God.
I said to
You were
my
tired.
12-year-old, I said, hey, yeah, I said, hey, how about cheese sticks and mac and cheese? Can you handle a double dose of cheese? He's like, oh, that's, you know,
I
dinner
don't
of
need to see it
champions right
anytime
there, right?
soon.
So, you know, for as much good stuff as I do, there are days, right? There's days when we all are, you know, it's the end of it. My wife brought pizza home tonight since I'm on with you guys, right? Like, we cheat and do that and do carry out once in a while, but like, my love of food all came, you know, I go back. It's my parents, my aunt and uncle ate well. They enjoyed good food. I was exposed, again, very special occasions, not every night, but exposed to good food and understood it. And it was special to me, right? And it holds a place in my heart. And so now it's a joy for me to come home and make dinner and cook for my family and feed them because it's so nice to have everybody around the dinner table. I know it's cliche, but I think there's some truth in that long term that you know the family that sticks together and has dinner together stays together and you know we
Yeah.
converse and okay, yeah, we use some electronics now and again at the dinner table with the kids, but it's so important to be together, right?
See,
And
we're terrible
food
with
and
that with
family and kitchen and
two
we
teenagers and
love it.
stuff. Like we eat wherever. Like I'm eating on the couch, my wife's eating on the other couch, kids are at the table. Like we're not ever. We're horrible about that sitting together at the dinner table and eating. We
Yeah,
did it for a while, and we need to probably get back into it. But
yeah.
especially because that's probably the
I
only
just
time I
love it,
see my
right?
daughter.
And then obviously I've been very fortunate and been able to travel in our industry and again experience and be and go and do. And so then therefore I'm also not the guy that sits in the hotel and orders room service either. You know,
Yeah.
unless I'm wiped out or it makes sense. I'd rather get out and walk and explore from the hotel where I'm at if I traveled or did a training for Kiko or whatever and live a little bit and learn a little of the town where I'm at and just you know, avoid some of the chain places, but look for a restaurant that's got a parking lot full of cars and go, oh, that's going to be good.
Right. See, I'm horrible. When I'm out of town, I'm getting some takeout or whatever, and just sitting in the hotel room where it's quiet. The house is always hectic, so I'm like, I'm getting my quiet time here, and I'm not doing anything. I'm pretty horrible about getting out and exploring.
Yeah, but even takeout, if you get it from a local place while you're traveling, is not a problem. Like, you know,
No.
I remember I did that, I kind of hung up my travel identity here for a while while Ethan's 12 and so on. So I'm not on the road as much as I used to be. But you know, I was in L.A. there back in that's gross, Andy. So
Yeah, I had to live a little.
I had three trips a year ago in December for Kiko to California. I was in LA County in Pasadena, and I walked up the street to a Japanese place and got carry out and took it back to my hotel. You know, but it was
Yeah.
one of those places, and if you remember back a year ago, LA County was still all mask centric,
Shut
and you couldn't
down.
go anywhere. And the restaurants needed, you know, you needed your proof of vaccine and all that to walk into places. So I went and got carry out and took it back to the hotel, but it was phenomenal, right? It was just a small hole in the wall joint, and I felt better about supporting a small family run operation, and the food was absolutely excellent.
That's
And
awesome.
there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to go explore the whole town, right? But like, you know,
No.
it just it's a pleasure to travel and experience that and live a little through food and culture and travel and what's available, what's close, right? Rather than I'm at the Holiday Inn and I'm going to watch CNN, right?
Hudson's a jerk. He said, I'm visiting Memphis. I'll probably get some Burger King. Yeah, you know, I'm getting DoorDash because you get stabbed in Memphis. Like
We
that's what you get in
we got
Memphis. Stabbed.
Wendy's in
Well,
downtown Memphis. Yeah, that was an experience.
when
Matt
in
asked
Rome,
you,
right? I mean, you got to keep yourself safe, right?
right? Matt's asking if you drink any smoked old fashions.
Yeah, not recently. You know, that was you guys probably haven't seen the video. I was, you know, this was a while ago. I went to Oklahoma City because Kiko had Chris White, the owner of Kiko, had gathered all of us as trainers together, and he said, "Hey, we all need to be on the same page. I want to have a meeting at HQ. get together on the training program, et cetera, et cetera. And we all went out for dinner one night, and we went to a really nice place and had steak and had smoked old fashions and all the rest of it. Matt Moore was kind of on the team as well and part of that group, right? And so we're sending Matt videos because Matt likes to eat and drink well too, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
we're sending
absolutely.
videos to him like, "Hey, look at what we got!" We're videoing the drinks coming, and he's at home because his wife's out of town. He's at home with the kids, and he's like, and he does his own smoked old fashioned. He puts the kids to bed. He goes, "Listen, you guys, while you're out, I don't even know everybody in the table." And he does this is his video. He sends back to us. You guys are out drinking smoked old fashions. I'm at home with the damn kids with goldfish crackers and blah blah blah. And he lights a cigarette and he sticks it into a drink he's got on his picnic table. He goes and he puts another like solo cup over. He goes, "There, that's my smoked drink, right?" And he threw it right back in our face, right? And I kind
Right.
of I kind of I didn't really feel bad for him, but anyway,
That's why he couldn't
and
come to
he's
our
such
meetup because he was at home with the kids while Katie was out of town. I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
Like,
he's such a good guy, Matt Moore, right? But like,
hmm
Oh
it's
yeah.
just one of those things. And again, hey, we all have lives and travel and wives and kids and responsibilities. You don't always get to make those trips,
Right.
and can't always answer the bell, right? And so it's
Yeah,
nice.
there's so many
I'm
trips I'd
happy.
love
Like
to
I
take
don't,
every year.
yeah, I don't get jealous when I see other guys traveling. And maybe a little bit, but like I'm really happy that they're out and experiencing, right? Yeah. Oh
Nothing
yeah.
so
Yeah.
he's
And of
kicking a
course
sea
Hudson was
teams.
there. Hudson had a wooden a tree knockdown hammer he was banging on Chris's truck with, and like literally this tree branch looked like a hammer. And so he's Hudson's being Hudson going, "Oh yeah, I think we got a little bit."
Well, it's probably a twig in Hudson's hand. It looked like a freaking tree. Oh, baby hands.
He had a little pipe. Yeah.
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 Let's talk about
So
you. Was talking
anyway,
about
so there's my food piece for you, Brandon.
I
And
love it.
still to this day I
Awesome.
love it, and like I love the science part of it, and boy, you guys are right. I do talk a lot, so
No, we
I
love
love
it.
the science part of it,
We love it.
It makes our life a lot easier when we got people that like to talk on the show.
and the chemistry behind some of the food, like it's really that's one of my I guess it's one of my likes and passions. I'm not geeky about it, but I understand some of it, and I guess I want to understand it, and therefore
Right.
then we eat well as a family, and again that's important to me. I want everybody, any of my guests or family that's in my house, I want them to feel loved and nurtured, and whether that's nourished, nurtured, or I just that's I don't know. I sat down as a kid with dinner with my mom and dad every night. My dad went to Rotary on Mondays because he was in the Rotary Club. But like 6 nights a week, we had dinner together, and there was great communication and understanding and love and patience and just good family in my upbringing. And same with my wife, right? I mean, she and I both grew up in very traditional homes where the fathers worked and the mothers stayed home and took care of the kids and the laundry and the bills and the shuttling around and the appointments, and it's what we know as individuals, and we're still doing it old school.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. I love it. I want to, we kind of briefly touched on it. You talking about being, you got your son with Downs and you're really involved with the community, with the, special needs community and stuff. What all does that entail? What all do you get into with that?
Oh boy, there is. You can go, like anything when you put your mind to it. Excuse me, or if you research or do whatever, whether you're thrown into it like we were, or if you're just a volunteer or you want to get it active, like you can go as far as you want to go and go as deep as your heart will allow you to go and give. We do all kinds of things. Like Saturday, there's a non-for-profit Down Syndrome Achievement Center called Gigi's Playhouse, and Nancy Gianni is the founder, and her daughter is Gigi. And Gigi's got to be 21, 22 years old now, I think. You go back a couple decades, and there was not this big support network that there was There wasn't then that there is now, for all kinds of things, autism, Down syndrome, right, cerebral palsy, whatever it is. All of these things have come to the forefront, right? Even breast cancer, right? Everybody wears the pink ribbons in October. All of this, tremendous strides that have been made. So Saturday we've got a Christmas party at 2 o'clock. I volunteer for a special needs golf camp with young athletes. We just you name it, right? We've got fundraisers. You guys have seen me fly in and out and do my thing and be like, okay, I got to go. Sorry, I'm here at MTE, but we've got a fundraiser and Brett Michaels is starring or whatever for the community, and you can do as much or as little as you want. But man, I could go on about the opportunities and things that exist, and there's Miracle League, which is like baseball for special needs athletes. That's I think that's a national thing, but certainly here it is in Phoenix and Scottsdale. Um, we just I'm deeply ingrained in a lot of things, and Noah really has brought our youngest son has brought a lot of joy and awareness to us, and he's pretty high functioning. He's still fairly nonverbal, but he signs and he can tell us what he needs. Much like we probably could have done this without me actually getting the audio working. But like I could sign language to you and go, yeah, I can't hear you guys, right? But
Right.
Noah will
Yeah.
come up to me and he'll bring me the jug of milk in his cup, and okay, he's thirsty, he wants something to drink. It's
Right.
even though he doesn't say, Dad, I'd like some milk, please. He comes up, or he's
Yeah.
you
He gets
remember
his point across.
meet the Fockers, right? When they're squeezing for
Yeah.
milk, right? That's the sign for milk, and Greg or whoever, Nurse Greg, Ben Stiller was doing the
You
like
milk cans,
milking the
fuckers.
cow, right? Hey, Fokker. Yeah. You said I can't say that word, Brandon, but now I can.
Look, he found a way. He's like, watch
So,
this. Hold my
Fokker.
beer.
yeah, yeah. So a
Amanda
couple
said
weeks
Bryce
ago,
was. She said Bryce
we
was not.
marched in the. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Amanda was just saying Bryce was nonverbal for a while. I had to do sign language with him, and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
we can't get him to shut up sometimes. So,
right.
world of difference.
That's but that's the truth with anybody, right? Whether they're atypical children or not. But you spend the first 3 years trying to get them to speak and communicate with you, and then the next 14 years telling them to shut up,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, until they're 20 or 25 and learn to zip it. I haven't learned that yet. So, like a few weeks
Me
ago, we
neither.
marched. We marched in the ASU, Arizona State University, the homecoming parade. The Down Syndrome Network here in Arizona is the biggest group in that parade. We had like 700 people in the parade that morning.
Oh wow,
Wow.
that's
We
awesome.
do that every year. It's phenomenal, right? So like I stopped at the grocery store and bought a couple of big things of candy and stuff. So I'm walking, throwing candy out, and everybody's just loving that at the parade, and it just there's so many good things and good organizations, right? And we do a lot. There's a lot of therapies that we have for Noah, and we just dive right in. There's no, yeah. Mike Toledo said this to me, and I really respect that comment. He said something one day and referred to me like as the guy that just doesn't complain, right? And I think I've gotten to that point in my life. I don't. There's nothing to complain about. It's just a wonderful place to be. Yeah, we've got a special needs kid. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I wouldn't trade it for the world. There's no
Yeah.
reason to complain about it. It's not woe is me. It's like, holy shit, this is awesome. Let's help everybody. And
Right.
and we've got
Yeah.
we've got challenges. There's challenges with the school district, and Noah's in mainstream class right now, but we've got a couple of things and a couple I shouldn't comment on, but you're going to experience all kinds of things in that community, and but it's wonderful and eye-opening. And so we've got a situation where we are thanks, Jeff.
Jeff and
We've got a
Myron.
situation where we're in discussions with the school district right now, and unfortunately it's had to involve legal counsel. And
Oh
um,
wow.
and I said to Beth, my wife, I said, listen, we've got this opportunity. We can set the bar straight with the school district, but if they want to keep playing hardball, that's fine. We have Plan B with a secondary school. If we need to move one of the kids out, we can do that. I said, but my point here in doing what we're doing is not only for Noah, but it's for the people coming behind us.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and not that I want to be the one that sets precedent, But there's days you have struggles, but I'm not complaining about it, right? So like, and I love Mike Toledo to death. I'm not trying to bring him up on your show, but like,
No, we love Mike.
he had mentioned like, here's Dave. He's got special needs kid. He works his butt off. He doesn't complain, and I'm not complaining, right? But there are days when there's challenges, and Beth and I both, we've just
Yeah.
chosen not to complain, right? It's a
Right.
blessing in our lives to have our kids, and we're in a position to care for and handle and do and take care of and provide what Noah needs, right?
Yeah.
And other children, whether they're normal kids in his class or other special needs kids that are in our community, the Halloween parties we go to, everything we're involved in is just, it's a joy. It's a pleasure to go and help and be involved and just do it.
I want to get to the point where I'm not complaining. Like there's days that I'm complaining and I need to stop because people's got it worse off than we do. And Bryson, he will wear on you. He's had his days where he'll wear on you. We get ill and short and everything. But end of the day, we're his biggest advocates. Amanda's been up to bat with him several times in the school districts and stuff. Like she's his advocate and she'll fight to the death with him for him. And I will too. Like I've been in several IEP meetings and everything. And it's what you got to do. Got to
And
make
you
sure your
wouldn't
kids get
not.
taken. No, yeah, at all.
Yeah.
I consider Bryce,
You
Bryson's my stepson, but I
unfortunately,
consider him my son, and I'll fight for him till I die. You know what
right? Yeah, and, unfortunately, there are those parents that don't get involved, right, in some of the IEP meetings and things like that, and it's I get it, right? I mean, I get if you had a family with two working parents and you don't have time and you go along with what's, suggested and you don't do all the research you should, right? I mean, you can get railroaded by the system, and fortunately, Beth and I both are thank goodness. Here's a blessing. I'm a little bit older as a father, and so was my mother and father, and so that apple didn't fall far from the tree. But we're mature, articulate individuals, and we don't mind doing that extra research and helping, right, to advocate for our own.
I mean? Oh
And
yeah,
some of
Well,
these younger
well,
some of these younger
I think
parents that are both. Go ahead.
yeah. I was going to say, I think a lot of it comes down to, you do have those who are very selfish. So being like you and your wife, and, you still have everything that's going on, but you're not complaining about it. You're just picking up and you're going with it because you're selfless people. You're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your family. You're thinking about others, and that gives you joy and drive and everything else. And so, those who are constantly complaining about it, whether they have a child with a disability or not, you know, are the same people who are going to complain about, you know, people who try to go somewhere and volunteer somewhere. They're going to complain about every little thing that
they're
there
gonna be
is.
they're gonna
But
find
the majority,
something
but
wrong with
there's
everything.
so many like you, like Andy, like Amanda, who just pick up and go. Just you got to do what you got to do, you know.
Right.
Um, so
It's funny when
like
Amanda
But
when we
that
get
but
ready
that's
for
life,
yeah.
that's life. Yeah, that's everything in life.
right?
But
It doesn't matter. I mean, my circumstances might be a little different, but it's life.
Right.
you're right.
You'd
It's funny
advocate
when
and do and research and grow your own kids, whether they're special needs or not. That's what parents do. You just and go, right? Just go do it, handle it.
yeah. It's funny when Amanda gets ready for war or whatever, IEP meeting, she'll bring out her book that's this big with all the paperwork in it. She ain't messing around. Like it's
Uh,
game
Where's
on.
Beth?
She's
I'm in the
up.
office. I'm looking for my wife's, right? Like she's got.
Everybody's got that one.
Yeah,
But yeah, like Amanda
and
was
but
saying, like your kid better than anybody. Don't let somebody make decisions for them over you. Like you make you lead them in the right path with those decisions and stuff. So
yeah, yeah. But it's not for me either, right? I mean, it's for
nope.
A, my son, and B, if we need to, for anybody behind us that needs that
Yes.
precedent set that this is the deal. This is the way to do it. I'll tell you, here's something cool. We're very fortunate, speaking of being your own advocate, Beth got us invited. We moved here 8 years ago, meaning to Phoenix. And I tell you what, I think it was within the first year, we got invited to the county planning meeting, looking ahead like 20 or 30 years out in the future, because Maricopa County, where Phoenix is based, that's our county. It's called Maricopa. Maricopa County is
Mhm.
one of the most populous counties in the country and one of the fastest growing. And they're very progressive, right? We've got a lot of things going on, very, very well thought out in terms of planning. And so we got invited to one of these planning meetings regarding special needs and what it looks like and what like assisted living and housing looks like, what that's going to cost the county, all of these things that go into planning ahead, right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
how did my wife get us invited to this meeting, right? And so, and everybody's advocating for me to like speak because I like to talk. So, the thing comes around and they ask me my opinion and thought, and I said, here's something you need to think about for the people coming up behind us. You have all these groups and all these acronyms and names of people that do great things for all kinds, right? And you need to think about putting a playbook together. So back to the book thing, right? But put a playbook together with the lists and names and contacts and organization names and acronyms of everybody and everything for all of the special needs communities and put it together in a binder. And every time there's a birth of somebody that's special needs, whether it's Down syndrome, whether it's autism, whether it's, whatever the diagnosis is, hand that playbook to those parents and
That's
say,
awesome. I
here's
like it.
what you do, right?
Yeah.
So beginning that planning stage and moving forward for the next 5, 8, 10, 20, 30 years until they are, adults, whether they're high functioning or not, or need assistance, you've got a playbook and a plan to begin and get these parents off the ground from birth, right? And
Yeah.
and that was my contribution in this meeting for the future, right? It was one of those things that just, that, and I came up with another one, back to the special needs thing. I got invited to do the first charity auction event for Gigi's Playhouse. So the year we moved to Phoenix in 2015, Gigi's opened their Phoenix location. And again, Gigi's is this Down Syndrome Achievement Center, non for
Mhm.
It
profit,
was meant to be.
amazing place. And they asked if I would give a speech before the auction. And so all these well-heeled, silver spoon people are there ready to just donate their money and give to society. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to entertain a crowd of people that A, I don't know, and B, I'm not in their social circle because I'm not a trust fund baby and don't have gazillions sitting around. And this is what these people do, the socialites, right? And I'm not picking.
Mhm.
I'm thank you to them and anybody that's in that, in that league for giving and donating. But
Yeah.
what am I going to talk to these people about, right? And so I was racking my brain. How am I going to write my speech? What am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? And then it came to me, and I'm like, I'm just going to tell the story of Noah from start to finish until, from where we were until where he is today, and how then we got involved with Gigi's. And that was the best decision I made of my life.
Yeah.
Was like I didn't have to like rehearse a story or get caught up or change speed or anything.
Yeah.
Oh
Uh-oh.
man, what? It was freaking
I wonder,
awesome. Like,
I wonder if somebody may have tried to call his son's phone or something.
You guys there?
uh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, there you
Somebody,
go.
somebody, somebody beeped in on my kid's phone. Sorry,
Okay.
I tell you.
He
I'm on my
called
son's
it.
phone with the. Oh God! I was like, no.
That's what I said. Somebody must
Yeah,
have
I was
tried to
like, this
call it.
right in a good spot.
Oh God. Anyway, so like, I told the story, right? And it was easy because I know the story. It's my life.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I didn't have to sell anything, didn't have to make anything up, didn't have to lure these people like, oh, please give us your money and
Yeah.
donate. The kids are starving, and no. This is Noah's story. I'm his dad, and this is the deal. This is how it all happened, right? And that was really, it became much easier than I had thought it would be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Man is asking if Arizona offers an early intervention program.
Yes. And you need to advocate for yourself. You've got to
Boom.
qualify for it. You've got to get yourself qualified for it. It's tough.
Yeah. I think I get
Here's
frustrated. You guys have a lot of problems. Like with Bryson, he's high functioning, autistic, and he's very capable of doing stuff. but people won't allow him. They feel bad for him and try to do so. Like he keeps his fingers in his ears. It's a control thing. We figured out because he can have his headphones on, be blaring, no problem. Control.
Okay.
They school. Everybody's always trying to give him headphones and all this crap. And we're constantly like Amanda will fight somebody the next time headphones are mentioned in school. Like,
Right.
you guys have that issue too with just people. I mean, they're unaware. They feel bad for them. They're unaware, but still, it's like it just beats you down. And like, man, come on, like we got this. I promise you.
Yeah. Well, again, they're not, they're trying to help. There's a good heart and a good intention, right?
Right.
From those that
Yeah.
are doing that, but they don't know because they're not in your shoes with Bryson every day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so they make this assumption, or there's this overview or blanket that, oh, these kids need a weighted blanket and headphones, or whatever, right? I mean, whatever has become typical norm acceptance on autistic kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know Jeff Campbell?
Yeah, I know Jeff very well.
Yeah, I hope Jeff doesn't mind if he's listening. I don't think he will. Colin, his son has autism, right?
I
And you
didn't
may or
realize
may
that.
not know that, but
Mm-hmm.
now the whole world knows it since I just broadcast it. And Colin
All
is
13
Colin,
people.
yeah, all 13 of us. So Colin is high functioning, has a driver's license, has a job, right? He's not combative. He's a big kid. Man, he's a big kid. And if he became, an autistic child that had anger or physical issues, he'd be a hard one to control, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff and his wife Paula had been so deeply involved in everything going on, right? Much like you and Amanda, Beth and me, it's you've got it. You understand. You're there day in and day out what the triggers are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
and you just can't. I don't think you can generalize a blanket statement or a blanket piece that says, "Oh, if you've got an autistic kid in the classroom, you need to provide headphones and pacifier or a squeezy ball or whatever, right? You know what I mean? Whatever
Right.
coping mechanisms could be, because it's just not that simple. It's not one size fits all solution. So we're Noah's you know Noah's very he's very passive. He's very non-combative. He's just a good, happy kid, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's not hard. I think sometimes he might get lost a little bit where um, he's easy to hand a coloring book and crayons to, and they just sits and he does his own thing, and then is out of sight and out of mind, right? Because
Yeah.
he's just a quiet, well-behaved young man, But like back to the early intervention piece, I don't know how Tennessee is, but I assume I think this is national. Autism is an automatic qualifier, right, for early intervention and services, right? The
Uh,
diagnosis of autism automatically gets you qualified, whereas the diagnosis for Down syndrome does not.
really.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to change in the law at a federal level, but that's another issue,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know. But a lot of things have come a long way. Like, are you familiar with ABLE accounts? ABLE, ABLE.
Mm-mm, I haven't heard of that one.
All right. So an ABLE account is something that was enacted, and while everybody's going to criticize me on this one, President Obama was actually not a terrible president, and here's why. From the special needs community, he articulated he could speak much better than Sleepy Joe does. But anyway,
Hmm.
he really he helped, and he didn't do quite enough, is my opinion. However, um, you have Down syndrome as an automatic qualifier.
But
Okay, so
autism, you got to be
maybe it's state by
tested.
state thing.
Right.
Yeah, again, what now can I say the F word? Damn. What in the world? How do we not have a uniform system nationally, right? For
Yeah.
qualifiers for people that need help. Jeez Louise.
Right.
Anyway, so back to the ABLE account. So previously to the Obama administration, if special needs people, adults in particular, had more than $2,000 to their name, they no longer qualified for social services. So that means even if
What?
you're high functioning and you owned a car, now your net worth is greater than 2 grand, you no longer qualified. Now, whether that was
Holy
overlooked
shit.
or whatever, that was the law, right? And so Obama enacted this thing called the ABLE Act, and now anybody, and it's not enough money yet, but it's the right direction. Now, any special needs individual that has up to $100,000 will still qualify for services, right? So
That's
but
way
there's the
better.
problem. What if you're high functioning and you own your own home? That's more than a hundred
Yeah,
thousand
that's
dollar
over
asset, right?
$100,000. Yeah.
It's BS. But anyway, so like it's a step in the right direction. So this ABLE account or the ABLE Act helped with that, and now you can start to set money aside in a specific account called the ABLE account, which essentially is kind of like a 529 plan, right? But for special needs individuals. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of intricacies between the states and the laws and all that. But like, it's one of those things that you find out when you're in the special needs community. Like, really, I can't have more than $2,000 to my name, and then I lose services. Are
Yeah,
you
that's
kidding
ridiculous.
me? Right? It's bizarre. So then, therefore, then like the special needs trust, right? You got a bucket of money. I die, and $5 million worth of life insurance goes into this bucket. Well, that bucket only trickles, $500 at a time to my kid, right? So he never
Mhm.
has more than that $2,000, right? It's just the intricacies then that get involved with trusts that go with that are beyond comprehension sometimes. But some of this stuff, you just shake your head and you're like, Ronald Reagan is right. We need less government. Get out of the way and let the people do this stuff because we know, right? We know, what's best for
So
Bryson.
live it day
I
to
know what's
day.
best
Yeah.
for Noah. Get out of the way, people, right?
Yeah. I always joke with people that, feel sorry for Bryce and everything and this and that. I'm like, take him home for a couple of weeks and bring him back. See how sorry you feel for him or how much you feel sorry for him, how much he needs them headphones. Like, go
Yeah.
try it out for a couple of weeks. Let's see what you think when you come back. I promise you.
Yeah. My Able account actually is in Tennessee, Amanda,
Oh,
because at the
nice.
time when we moved to Arizona, they still didn't have one in Arizona. Now they do.
So
It's a
she's
good
saying
tax
that
break too.
she said state gets a portion of the savings for that, whatever they got that disabled.
Yeah, in case they become a ward of the state. Yeah,
Yeah. You got
I'm
advocacy
reading it.
groups.
My kid's phone's kind of small, so I got to come in here and squint here at the fine
That's what I'm
print
trying to
on
leave
the
it up there for a
screen.
minute.
I
This
should
is
have,
something
what I
obviously.
should have done. I should have logged on the big. I'm in the office. I got the MacBook in front of me, or the
Yeah,
iMac, where right with the screen
that's what I'm
like
on.
this,
That's what
like
we're
this
both
Yeah,
big,
on.
right?
yeah, that's what I
That's
got.
what
I
I
love
should
it.
do. Damn, I should. I probably wouldn't have had any audio problems had I done that too.
I don't know.
Uh,
Matt said he was
well,
just talking to his accountant
talking
about the able
about
fab account, able
y'all
access.
know a lot about this stuff. I have no clue. I'm one of those that would probably have the good intentions, but I really don't know. You know, but me personally, that's why I don't say with Bryson, oh, give him some headphones or Noah, oh, I don't know how to do anything for him, but give him a coloring book, let him just do stuff by himself. I'm not going to do that, but I know to say teacher wise and stuff. There's a lot of them out there that do that. They don't want to take the time to learn how to really deal with them and stuff, and so they just try to take the easiest route with them
That's why we've
out.
had friends think we were asshole parents and stuff before how we do Bryson. It's like, not being an asshole to him. I want to raise him to be something. I'm not going to let him be babied. And I know what he's capable of. Move out of my way and let me, let him live
Yeah,
up to his full capability. Like, get the hell out of the way.
Right.
So,
yeah.
might look like an
It's not
asshole on
hard,
the
and it's
inside,
not
but
hard. Like people are afraid to ask though,
oh, they
I
are.
think I think you're right. You're definitely
Yeah,
right.
you nailed it.
because I think everybody's afraid of that. Oh my gosh, this is this a disabled person? Is there a are you going to sue me for discrimination? Is there like
It's sad,
no,
really.
just ask. Just
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
We'll
The
tell
boy
you
gets
all
up,
about it. We love talking about it.
he goes potty, he pees and poops just like the rest of us and puts his trousers on one leg at a time, damn it. It's a
Right.
normal kid. Like what just ask. It's not there's nothing taboo about it. It is what it is,
No.
right? I mean, it's a genetic piece on the Down syndrome, like just ask. It's just there's nothing wrong with asking,
Right. I think
right? The worst, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, and Amanda, if you're listening, the worst is when people, if you have the conversation or you say, hey, I have a son that has autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, whatever, right? They're like, the worst is when people go, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, it's like, what are you
Sorry
sorry
for
for?
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
man. It's just,
Sorry is the wrong
somebody said,
word. Now get out.
yeah, right. Man
You're
said
not the
she had
people I
somebody.
want to talk to.
She said somebody told her Bryson didn't look autistic. It's like, because he
Yeah,
styled. She said because he want to be a smartest, like because he styled his hair different this morning.
yeah,
She didn't give him
right.
the autism style for the morning.
The autism haircut. Yeah. Really?
I think it would help me. I was introduced to it when I was young too. My preacher at the church when I was a little bitty, his daughter had Down syndrome, and she, real big in the church and stuff. And I hung out with her a lot. She was quite a bit older, but she did the Sunday school and stuff. So I was introduced to it at an early age. And got me real, a little familiar with it. Like I said, I was early age, but I was introduced to it really early, and I think that helped out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, it's, life is, we're so, society's so, I don't even know the words. I don't have the words. Society is so
Society
quick.
sucks.
Yeah.
Society sucks. I went to see Chris Rock the other night. This is a true story. I
I
went
bet.
Monday night. Monday night, I saw Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle together.
Oh my
Really,
gosh.
that had to be awesome. Did Dave Chappelle make fun of
Hey,
Chris Rock for getting slapped?
they both made fun of each other. So here was Chris Rock's deal, and his bottom line funnel was, society is all about this immediate gratification, and the three of us could go to dinner tonight, right, and and have dinner and not talk to each other and just be buried in our phones or whatever, right? You see people doing it all the time.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have an articulate conversation or discussion or have any kind of agree to disagree or any of that shit. But as soon as we were done, we'd go and put it out all out there. Hey, look, I had tacos. Give me some likes, right? It's all about that wanting that
Yeah.
attention, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
and that's where society's gotten to. So this is all part of his comedy shtick that he did. And he said, there's three kinds of people, this kind, that kind. He goes, and then there's the victims. And so then he started playing the victim card a little bit, and he goes, "Listen, I was up on stage and I got slapped by, Will Smith, and he's twice my size." He goes, "I haven't said a damn word about it. Everybody else has. However, I got up and went to work the next day. I didn't play the victim. I just moved on and did it, right? So much like I said earlier, hey, we just handle it. We go and do. I don't complain. Let's go. Let's handle it,
Yeah.
right?"
Right.
Yeah.
And he was 100% right. And so as the comedy night went on, he was all about the getting slapped thing, right? And then Chappelle comes out and finishes the show, and I'm going to say to you this: his performance was not the greatest, but he did say, there's Chris Rock up there bitching about getting slapped. He goes, "I got tackled on stage. Did you see that?" And he did, right? He got tackled
I
at
seen
the
the video. Yeah.
in Los Angeles, right, at Hollywood Bowl. He got tackled by a guy with a gun that rushed him on stage, right? And I'll tell you what, Chappelle took the shot pretty good because he's actually a pretty big guy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and anyway, so then he starts making fun of Chris Rock. He's like, "You only got slapped. I got tackled by a guy with a gun." So just making that comparison, and obviously
Yeah.
they're running this tour together and get along and play off of each other that way, right? But
Oh
like
yeah.
Chris Rock's right. We got to stop with this. Stop with this immediate gratification and attention and um, um, I'm the victim kind of mentality, right? America needs to rebound and get above that and beyond that because we're greater than that, right? That's what this country was about, right?
I'm
And
sad to
it was
say. I
just
think it's
it,
only
it
going to
was
get
a, it was
worse.
a fun night, but that was
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be more
Yeah.
and more victims in this world. They're being raised right now and stuff, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Daddy, I need $5,000 to go to Europe. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did I say that
Well,
right?
she's not watching, so
No, that's
like I
not a
said, my
victim.
child
That's
is a
not a
good
victim.
kid,
Yeah.
and no, not at all. My child's a good kid, and I want to reward her for what she's done. She works hard. She brings home good grades. If they
Yeah.
drop, she makes the figures out a way to fix them. So yeah,
Yeah.
you got to reward that.
That's an
Now, if she was
opportunity, is what that is. Yeah.
yeah, and if she's an asshole, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I guess you better start working.
Michael, my oldest son, who's now
That's what
24,
Amanda's like.
played.
Yeah, she didn't even ask. So
Yeah, she technically didn't ask. Yeah. So like Michael played his high school band. Was it high school? Yeah, I think high school at that age. Played for the Queen's Jubilee in London, his marching band, and so he
oh
had the
wow.
opportunity to travel. And I of course, I immediately forked out for
Yeah.
that. I said, absolutely, that's a no-brainer. These kids have an opportunity to go and travel and do something productive and learn and experience a different culture. So I threw Michael on a plane with his mother, who's not my wife, but that's a different issue. But like, we immediately, I'm like, absolutely, whatever, whatever you need, it's handled. So.
When you got to experience
Well,
that, it's the whole Europe thing and everything.
And
So
and yeah, and I had been there and done that already, right? So then, I sent my kids sent them some pounds in the mail. I said, here, you'll be ahead of the curve. You'll have English money when you get there, for whatever you guys do as a band, as a group, and excursion wise, and
that's awesome.
and he had been there anyway. He'd been there with me previously, and he's my kids very all my kids are very fortunate, right? And of course, my mother-in-law still lives in Spain, so we go. Apart from COVID shutdown here, we've gone every year, and that's our
That's
family
awesome.
vacation there. And so the kids are, my kids are pretty culturally exposed and diverse, and again, I think that will only lend, them to be, successful human beings in the world, right? Like here,
Right.
yeah,
you've got this experience and knowledge, go and do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
If you've
absolutely.
got the
Natalie.
if you got the opportunity to do it, you might as well because you may not ever get to do it
Yeah.
again. So.
Well, listen, guys, we got one more hour to go. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Brandon's over there like, I got to still work out. I got to
He's
do
I
already.
know.
this.
I'm like,
Brandon's over here doing one of these. Going, here's the signal. Like, come on, we got to cut Dave
no,
off.
He's
I had my
going, but
eye
I
was
can't
just
do
a
this.
second ago.
I'm rubbing my eye. That's the signal. Yeah.
Ace is the one who was up here like with his nose up my rear end. Like, come on. Now he's laid back down.
nice. Well, we got off to a late start, so we had to make up for it. So
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I
but
apologize. I hope it wasn't
no,
me.
not at all.
no,
Like I
no,
said,
no.
I think that was a look. Mike said cut you off. He was
Well,
bragging on you a minute ago, Mike, and here you are.
if
Are we
it
running
wasn't for
into his?
the yeah.
Are we lapping
Anyway,
over
I'll go.
somebody else's podcast now?
I don't
Yeah,
think so. Or
I don't
I don't
think.
know.
I
Well,
wish
I don't
we
know.
were.
Are we?
Obviously, Mike's not on because he wouldn't be here watching.
Yeah, I think Mike was on last week, so I
Okay.
think he's every other week.
yeah.
Vidine
He's
doesn't
like,
have
what's
anything going, does he?
No, he's in Mexico, I think, or just
There's
got back.
no dents and dreams or whatever he does.
No, Dance and
No.
You
Dreams.
betcha. You betcha.
And
Hey,
then
but we
Shuddy's
do.
on Thursday night, so
We are still doing a radio row at MTE. Hopefully, maybe not this year, but next year. I mean, following MTE 24. Um, they may have equipment and everything already set up for us. That's going to be pretty cool. So
right.
all we have to do is just go push a live button in whatever podcast, and
Yeah.
you ain't got to bring all your equipment like we do.
Yeah.
Mike said he's
Is she
live in
Mary
5
Toledo? Mary Toledo
automatically.
just said her. Yeah, she's on. Yeah, Mary, we'll talk over you. That's all right.
That's Mike. That ain't Mary.
Oh, Mike is. Oh, sorry. I thought it said Mary. Sorry.
We got to get off now.
I can't read that small like that print's like this freaking big on the phone.
Well, just future references because we're gonna have to get you on for part 2 sometime because I feel like there's still so much to talk about. So
Yeah.
next
Well,
time,
look,
hop on the
I haven't
computer.
been able to say anything just because I'm listening to y'all because I'm just interested in it. So
Well, that's
that's
near and
why
dear to
I've
our
just
hearts.
been quiet.
Yeah, the special needs is obviously near and dear to
Yeah.
both our hearts. So
Yeah.
we got a lot.
Now, if
And you see Amanda too, like she's wrote books for every comment that she's had.
I know that's awesome.
Yeah, she's very passionate about it, and I'd like to see her be an advocate for other families and stuff. But she has been. She's reached out to people on Facebook asking questions and stuff, and tried to help them guide them in the right direction and stuff. I love to see it. So
Yeah.
Now,
And I
now
get that
next time,
question a
if you
lot. Like, what do we do? What's
right.
our first step? What's the first thing to do? And even there's a friend of Chris and Jennifer White. Chris from Geeko,
Mm-hmm.
and their dear friend has a grandchild now with Down syndrome, and I saw her in Las Vegas at SEMA, and she said, "What do we do?" Yeah, you know what? We need that playbook, right? And so,
Right.
I said the first thing you do, contact the Down Syndrome Network in your area and let them help you and guide you with what's available close to you. And Down Syndrome Diagnosis Network's an amazing tool for everybody in that end of it, right? And you jump in and do, right? So you get
Yeah.
asked those questions, right? And you just
So,
you make it happen.
so Brandon, I got an idea. Next week we want to take off. We'll just let Amanda and Dave have the show, and we'll let them roll it. They can sit there all night and
Oh
talk.
shit! No, Amanda, I'll put Beth on.
Oh,
There you go. That'd be
that would
awesome.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll gladly give up the StreamYard for a Wednesday night to let y'all have at it and Beth and
Thanks, Mike.
everything.
Love you,
I
bro.
love Mike. Yeah, Mike's awesome.
Now,
Can't wait to see
if you
him
want to learn how to tell somebody to you hope their
burn in
car
the
burns
car.
and burn in them, yeah, I'll talk all night about that. No, 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 no.
But yes, that's my
No,
life.
we
A little bit
hey,
about me, and I get up, I go and do it, and love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world because it's my life, and that's why I'm here.
I love it. And if anybody wants to know more about Dave's like business, work through his years with the business and everything, that PDR Tool Time podcast is probably one of my favorites with you on it. Like I said, it motivated me, gave me a kick in my ass, and I love the shit out of it.
Thank you.
we
I love it. I love
there's
sharing the
that, and
knowledge and info.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you've got the that one, and then I think Randy Hobson said look back on PDR interviews, and I think 54 and 55 episodes there were interview that Randy did with you. So
Yep. That was a good
you can
time.
look at that one too. So if there's a lot of information out there, but you've got a lot of information about PDR side, and but that's not exactly what we're
Who's
about.
who's the
We love.
Facebook you Who's the Facebook user that says the small onion family's the best? That's got to be somebody out of the UK.
really? Is that like a saying over there or something?
Well, because the name Schalaut, as we pronounce it
Ah,
here, Shallot is how they would call it in the father country. Shallot is what the English call what we would call a shallot.
right.
So it's
I
the
got you.
small onion, right? And so
Okay.
anyway, that obviously had to have been somebody that knows my little piece
Well,
of the English side of life.
whoever the Facebook user is, put your name on there. I mean, we've had several tonight. So I don't know
Yeah.
who it
Yeah, I
still
saw a
is,
few
but
pop up, and I was trying to
so
read as we went, but then, there's in a couple of minutes I was in a tangent there. I'm just like I'm not reading whatever that was, and so
yeah, no, no.
I'll look. Do I have the opportunity? Can I look at the notes or whatever, respond to people if it need be, or
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
You
can
can
go
go
back
back.
and watch it and read the
okay?
or the comment.
I think most of it was on the Book of Faces, right?
He said it's your
It says your
brother.
brother.
My brother, yeah,
He
your
said, yeah.
brother, it's your brother Dave. Okay, so that's Kevin Andrews.
Oh, okay. What's
Oh,
up,
okay. I
Kevin?
remember. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I don't know that that's Kevin, but I'm
I
gonna
hope so.
Probably
assume,
because he was commenting on the promo stuff,
or it could
about
be
you.
my
So
brother Dave. Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
It's my other brother, Daryl.
For any of you that are old
Oh,
enough to remember that.
Madison, it's Kevin. So
yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I
Kevin, are
thought it
you
was
going to be at
Kevin.
MTE this year? I'd love to meet you in person finally. I ain't got the opportunity
You've
to meet
not
him in
met
person
him?
yet. Nope.
Oh, bloody hell!
No, no. Well,
Yeah.
Those
there's a
English
lot that
coming
are going to
out.
be there. There's a lot that's going to be there this year from
Yeah, we got
overseas. So
Ben and
that's
Martin.
what's
I
going
can't
to be
wait to meet
awesome.
those guys. Like we've done several shows, with them guys, and it's always been a
Yep.
blast. Like it's about time for another one. I'd love to do another one with them.
He
Only
said he
I'll
problem
tell
is
has
you.
I
a
got to wake up
Here's
at
what
two
we ought
o'clock
to
in the
do.
morning.
We ought to all jump on the plane and go over there, and then do
Oh,
a
Amanda
show.
be down. Yeah, Amanda would be down in a heartbeat.
that would be
So
awesome.
like Igor's coming over for MTE, and then
See,
is
Amanda
his
said she'd
wife
be.
listening to this? I can't tell the story. Shoot, Igor's coming over, and then he's doing something special, and and I'll see him in February, I think, and then I'm going to zoom over to Frankfurt for IASRE in March. So I'm going to see Igor like 3 times in 3 months.
Hell yeah. I love
Nothing
Igor.
wrong
I
with
He's
got
that.
I
awesome.
got to book my flight to Orlando. I haven't done that yet.
Kevin said his door's open. Yeah, I'd love to go over there and check out.
Yeah,
I
let's
would
go.
too.
57 wind fell close. Let's go. I can drive us there from the airport. Right, Kev? Oh, shoot. Now everybody knows his address. Sorry, Kev.
All right. Ginger Bros needs a few more sponsors.
Yeah. Make this trip possible for us. 6 listeners.
Yeah.
We're going to need y'all to donate big. And one of them being my wife, so actually 5 listeners of donations.
Well, if I can get Mandy on a plane, then we'll go. We just may have to drug her to get her on there.
That's all right. Like BA from the A-Team.
Yeah. Horse tranquilizer or something.
Kevin said you know too much. I don't know if Toledo is having a show tonight. We probably won't get off.
Yeah, I got to go. I got to get on his show. Sorry, guys. I got to go. Oh, no, sorry.
No, but I do. Look, I love sitting here and listening to it and talking, but I do actually need to go.
Go.
So y'all can stay and talk all you want to, but
oh man, they'll be texting me a minute. When are you coming home? Or you don't break a record again? And I got that.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a blast. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. I
love telling. I love telling my story. I love anybody that needs information, help, whatever. My door is open. My phone's on. I'm not the guy that's hiding secrets. I'm happy to help the industry grow and get better.
Yeah, right? I can testify to it. Like I said, I didn't know you from Adam. Just listen to that podcast, and you reached out, and we, had a great conversation. So I can testify firsthand. Dave is there for you.
And I'm really glad you guys finally got down to the S's in the alphabet and finally had me on. So
we kind of had you on at MTE. We had a little snicker at MTE.
Yeah, at MTE. Yeah, we had a little impromptu. That was a lot of fun. I think I had a beer in my hands. I think
probably did, but that was fine.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was MTE. That's a whole different. Well, you got a whiskey in your hand now, right?
Well, I got a little bourbon. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I've enjoyed it. I knew I would. Thanks, I was looking forward to this one. So
yeah,
I enjoyed listening.
Have a great evening, and if I can do anything for anybody, let me know.
Do anybody? I can do anybody. I mean, well, guys, and then all our listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments. It's been a great show. Thanks for sticking with us through all the technical difficulties.
Yeah,
you too, Dave.
We had 2 shows tonight.
Yeah, Dave could have said, "Kiss my ass, I'm going to cook," but he didn't. He stuck it through, and we made it work. So.
All right, well, I'm going to Dave. I'm going to back us out in the back room. Let me end this, and we'll say our goodbyes. So, anyway, appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again for watching another episode of Ginger Bros Dent Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for all past episodes, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Podbean. Keep pushing, make that money. See you next week.